So you were nervous, huh?
Yeah.
Why are you nervous?
I don't know. It's weird.
This is the most nervous I've been just because I'm feeling your nerves, I guess.
Yeah, no, and it's because you're always so not serious. So this is serious and it's weird.
I'm not serious and this is serious?
Yeah.
I'm kind of serious.
No.
You'll have to
I'm
talk right into the microphone, though. Yeah,
I'm like never serious with you because you're never serious with me.
yeah, that's
That's
true.
weird.
But
Being serious.
this reminds me of like an old Greek proverb. Do you know like old Greek sayings? There's a saying that you never realize how beautiful someone is until you're alone with them in a basement and no one can hear them scream.
Oh, that's nice.
That's not true. I made that up. That's a Mike Hendricks
Uh-huh.
proverb. I don't even know how to pronounce it. I think I'm trying to say pervert.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Mhm.
You'll have to talk right into that thing though.
Like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
See, put the headphones on. You'll need to, because then you'll hear yourself getting quiet. It's like talk like this. Here I'm really loud, and then I'm really quiet now. I'm really
Oh,
quiet.
yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be able so you can monitor your hearing.
Okay.
But you have to put them on right.
This isn't right?
Well,
Oh.
there we go. Hey, first blonde on the podcast. We're gonna have that moment, I guess. Oh man, I was thinking our relationship is really weird because I've known you since you were like in third grade.
Yeah. And you guys would babysit me.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I ever told you. I think I have told you a story, but you know that Rob guy your mom dated
Yeah.
over there in St. Peter's? Well, when
Mhm.
I used to work door-to-door sales, I went over to his house. I had to work that neighborhood, and I knocked on his door, and he was like, like he didn't speak English.
No.
I was like, dude, I've been to Six Flags with you. Like, you can't pretend you don't speak English.
That was before or after?
It was after I knew him.
Oh, okay.
Like I had knocked on the door after I had already met him,
Oh my
and obviously
gosh.
knew that he spoke English.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, people.
I could see that happening though.
But you and your mom have a very special / creepy relationship.
That's creepy.
Explain what your mom means to you, and just explain that relationship.
I don't know because it's hard for me to explain it because I don't know how other people feel about their moms, like with their relationship. Because I grew up with her, it's basically just being me and her. And so I was the only one she would ever focus on, really. So I've always just had that, I guess. So I don't really know, like, how else it could be.
So you don't see a difference between your relationship and another person's relationship with their mom?
I mean, I do. Like, people, whenever they see us together, like my friend Jolene at school, she hung out with us once and she was just like, I wish I had what you guys have. And I never really like thought about people not having it with their mom
Yeah.
because of how close we've always been. Like any cheerleading thing, anything with school, I mean, like she would be taking off work. She would be there. Any practice, like parents would be like, oh, see you later, pick you up at 6. My mom would be there the whole time.
It always seems like a lot of parents are like that, but they get to a point where the kid doesn't want it, but you've always never pushed away from that.
Yeah. And I think that's why it was hard for me to ever like go off to college and do things because it never bothered me that she was there. I felt more comfortable with her being there.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever she wasn't, I was like, I would rather be with my mom. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to be away from her.
A lot of people are always afraid, like, for their kids that, they don't want to be too much of a friend or are they too much of a disciplinary.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel that the way that your mom raised you, like whether it's 60-40 friend to mom or 70-30 mom to friend, do you feel that you were raised the way that you would want to raise your kids?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like, she definitely was, I would say probably more like friend.
So what would you
Sometimes-
divvy it up to in a percentage?
Well, probably like 60-40.
Yeah.
Because I was never really, like, still, I'm not like comfortable. Like, if we're hanging out or something and people are doing something, I'm not comfortable with them acting that way in front of her still. So it's not just like she's my friend and we're all hanging out.
Yeah, like
it's
you don't want us talking about dicks and vaginas.
No, I don't. And so like whenever she's around, I'm just like, guys, it's still my mom.
Yeah.
Like don't say that.
Yeah. She has a pretty sweet butt though.
Ew.
It's hard to overlook.
No.
Hey, I'm sorry. Oh man. So how old were you when your mom and dad got a divorce?
I was in 3rd grade.
So
I
you
think, like,
remember it?
9, yeah.
What was that like? Can you explain it?
So it's really weird because still to this day, I still feel that way whenever they're around each other. Because I remember it was, I think, around Christmas time, and they were shopping separate. They drove separate. And so I thought it was really weird. But I was like, oh, maybe I'm getting a lot of presents, and they need 2 cars.
Typical
And
Devon thought.
which I think I did get a lot of presents that year because of that. But yeah, and then I remember he moved out and moved to my grandma's house for that little bit. And he came over one night, and I remember he knocked on the door, and I was just like, what are you doing here? Even though, I mean, he's lived there with us my whole life. And it was just like I knew that that was going on, and I felt so uncomfortable. Like with them seeing each other, I didn't want them to fight. I didn't want them to talk. I just wanted it to be like done and over with. Like, okay, you guys aren't going to be together. Don't be together. And I'm still like that. Like, even on my 21st birthday, I found out he was going to be there, and I was just like, or I saw him, and I was like, wait, I'm really excited right now, but my mom's here. Like, this is weird. Don't look at each other.
I have noticed that about you. Most people are not like that.
I know. I don't know. Like, I just get like someone sitting on my chest, like really.
Anxiety.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I don't like them being around each other.
So you just think that comes from because you have a bad memory of them splitting up, so them being together reminds you of that, or where does that come from?
I don't know. It's really weird. And I remember my mom, when that was happening, and she remembers this too because that's why I hated Rob. She promised me, she was like, okay, it's just going to be me and you. You know, your dad and I are getting divorced, but it's just going to be me and you. And so I was like, okay. And I held her to that because how close we were. And then whenever she started dating people, I was like, no, this is not our promise.
Yeah.
There's not supposed to be anyone else.
I remember that about you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you remember that movie Problem Child 2 with the little redhead?
Mm-hmm.
It's before your time. But there's Problem Child 1 where this kid, he's like a horrible kid and his dad's John Ritter. And there's Problem Child 2 where he meets another bad kid and she's a girl. And that's their thing, is they don't want their parents dating, and then they end up falling in love.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all big one family. But you were like that. Like, you were sabotaging your mom from day one.
Yeah. Whenever they first started dating, I remember he came over one night, and my mom was like, okay, go to sleep. And I stayed up all night long.
In spite.
Yes. Because I was like, he's not coming in here. Like, he's not coming in our house. Like, you promised me this. And then I used like, oh, this was my mom and dad's house. Like, he can't come into my dad's house.
Yeah.
But then I didn't even want my dad there.
Yeah.
To be around my mom. So,
but that's
so
a
really
normal.
it was
That's
just,
a normal, like 9-year-old, 10-year-old thing.
Which part? All of it?
Just not wanting your mom to be with someone. But once you get like 24, it's kind of weird.
No, well, now I don't care. Now that I'm like not always with her, I feel like she needs that a little bit. But
yeah. Yeah.
I would still be judgmental.
Yep. Oh, I know. You could say that you wouldn't be, but I know you would. If you could change one thing about your personality, what would you change?
A little bit of my brattiness, I guess.
A little bit?
Just a little bit. Like me never thinking I'm wrong. Me never wanting to apologize and own up to that.
So when you're in one of your moments, are you self-aware of it? At the moment, at the time?
No.
Afterwards?
Yeah, it's a little bit, yeah. Yeah, it's afterward. Because then I'll stop and I'll just be like, well, now I got to finish it out because
I've already started.
Fool. Yeah, so.
Yeah.
Like that happened in Super Bowl.
Yeah. It's happened every time we've had a party.
Pretty
at
much.
Your house.
If it involves what's that game?
Oh,
Civil War.
Yeah.
If it involves that, gets me amped up.
I don't know why you're like that.
I don't either. But then see, I get over it really quick, and then other people don't.
Yeah.
So then that's why I would change it, because I realize I'm doing it, and then I'm like, okay, I'm fine. Like I got it out. I shouldn't act like that. I'm done. And then everyone else is like,
fuck.
No.
Do you realize what you did?
Yeah. That's what Carl and I always argue about afterward, because he's not over it and I am.
Oh, yeah.
After I act like that.
But see, you guys are the opposites. You will start a shitstorm and be over it in a second. he will take on stuff forever, and then once he's in a mood, he'll hold on to it forever.
Yeah.
So it's like you guys are the exact yin and yang.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting.
It is so
It seems like
interesting.
opposites always attract anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So a little bit of brattiness you
Just-
would take
yeah,
away.
Yeah. I mean, if I wasn't bratty, then I wouldn't be myself.
Yeah, see, that's always the thing. Like, people say, would you change anything about you? I can't think of anything. Like, I know my flaws,
Right. Well, that's why I said a little bit,
but
because
it wouldn't be you
that's
anymore.
a flaw. But then if that wasn't me, then I would be like boring, because then I would never complain about
Yeah.
anything.
You give us like a couple good weeks
Yeah.
and then go back to you.
Couple good parties.
Couple breaks. Okay, this is a fucking deep one. You ready to get into the
Oh,
nitty gritty?
Boy.
So there's a lot of groups that feel oppressed, that have been oppressed
Mm-hmm.
for years and years, hundreds of years. But it seems like, and I don't know if it's Trump or just the society itself or social media, but it seems like a lot of these groups are voicing their opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them is the women's movement, you know,
Mhm.
who had the 1 million person march, or it was like 7 million people. Do you feel that as a female, you have ever been oppressed because of your gender? And if so, give an example.
I can't really say that I have. But I think because of some of my brattiness, that might be why, because I wouldn't let that happen.
Okay.
Really?
So you're saying you might be different than the way other females have been treated?
I don't know. I mean, I've been able to do whatever I want to do, and I've never been told that I can't do
Okay,
it.
I see what you're saying.
So I don't know.
You're the white privileged bratty girl.
Yeah, I guess. Because
But
I
you
mean,
can't think of one, like a job or anything that you were oppressed basically just because of your gender?
No, I mean, I remember at the grocery store, like, they almost didn't hire me because they were like, I don't know, can you push like 4 carts?
Okay.
And I was like, yeah. But if I can't, then I just won't push carts. I don't care.
I have one of the boys do it for me.
Right? So that's another thing. Like, even if I was just like,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. I remember at Walmart when I worked in the grocery, they used to never have enough unloaders. We'd have to go and unload the trucks for them.
Mm-hmm.
But over the intercom, they would always say, all male associates, please report to the back.
Oh.
And I always thought, hey, wait a minute. Can they do that? Can they say, hey, just the males get to unload the
But
truck?
then, like, would the women really want to?
Probably not.
So.
Yeah. Or
But then because them saying it, it would piss them off because they're
there
not
was
allowed.
one girl that would always go back.
Oh, really?
I shouldn't say girl, a lady, that she would always go back. And she was a hard worker. But she would always go back when we went back. And she's like, it's not fair that just the guys have to do it. She's like, I can work too. And I was like, fuck yeah, you can.
Yeah.
She was awesome. She was a good worker.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah.
If you want to go do that,
Yeah.
I would just be like, go ahead. They didn't call me, so I'm just gonna keep standing here.
See, that's what I think the women's movement is. Like, I'm totally for equal rights. Like, I
Yeah.
really think
Uh-huh.
that everyone should have equal rights. But it's the picking and choosing. Like, okay, I want this or I want this.
Yeah.
It was just how this podcast happened when I was saying on Facebook was Allison was like,
Oh.
you need to have more girls. And I'm like, okay, well, you and Devon can do it. And you're like, I'm not fucking doing it. I'm like, this is typical. Girls are like, we want to be on there. And then you're like, well, you got to do this and this. No,
we
fuck
don't
that.
wanna be on
Not
there.
doing all that. Can you think of a time that you ever benefited because of your gender?
Oh, all the time. Are you kidding me?
Oh, you're so honest.
No.
Can you give an example? Are we taking our clothes off already? Why are you taking your
Yeah.
earrings out?
Because the
Oh,
thing's
they're hurting,
broken,
pushing in you.
I don't know. I mean, even
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if I ever get pulled over, they're just like, oh, just be more careful.
Yeah.
Like a little white girl in a Hyundai. Just be careful.
Yeah.
Don't do that again. I'll give you a warning.
Have you been pulled over since you've had your new car?
Yeah, but I was actually in the Mustang, so I wasn't in my car.
Okay.
Actually, yeah, Ashley and I got pulled over in Katie's bachelorette party.
Were you guys drinking?
No. We were picking up her cake. It was before the bachelorette party even started.
Okay. But you were
And-
speeding.
No, I pulled out in front of a cop. It was totally my fault. And then she pulled me over. And I was like, oh, I'm so sorry. And she's like, oh, it's okay. Just be careful next time.
Sorry, I thought you were boys. I'll
Yeah.
carry on. But that is sad. Like, if a guy wants to be a teacher, say he wants to be the best second grade teacher, it's always like, why does he want to be a teacher? Like, that's the question.
Mm-hmm.
Why does he want to do that?
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, well, women they're like more sensitive, or like they can handle them.
Mm-hmm.
They're more patient.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, isn't really true.
Or
but,
false. I mean, do
yeah.
you think men and women have different strengths and weaknesses? As a whole, like, I know you can't speak for the whole, but when you take the average of each gender, do you think there's things that men do better and things that women do better?
I guess, but I think that's also like social norms.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
men
like-
aren't supposed to be good at the things women are
It's just the
supposed
way
to
that
be.
we're
Yeah.
raised that way.
Yeah. Because, I mean, like, it's not that women stay home and cook and clean and take care of the kids still. But it's also, like, women do take care of the kids more, I guess. Like,
Mhm.
I hear people all the time with kids. They're like, oh, I don't know if, like, I can leave them with my husband that long. I'm like, what do you mean you can't leave them with your husband that long?
Yeah.
I don't know.
I always talk to the guy, Little O's down on Main Street.
Mhm.
Mason and I used to go there every Saturday. And I got to talking to that guy, and he said, I used to always hate it because I always had my kids with me. When people would say, oh, you got your kids this day, or you're babysitting today. He's like,
That's
it's
what
my
really
fucking
bothers me.
kids.
Yeah.
He's like,
Babysitting.
yeah. Yep.
Oh, I have to watch my kids today. You're not. It's your
kid.
You're
Yeah.
not watching
It's your
them.
job.
You have your kids because they're your kid.
Yep. Yep.
So, yeah, that's why I just feel like, because it's kind of always been like that, even though it's changed a lot,
Mm-hmm.
it hasn't changed completely. I mean, like, your neighbor across the street,
Yeah, he's a
He's
stay-at-home
yeah.
dad.
but that's not
The social norm.
right.
But he's good at it.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah. That's why I think there's outliers, but to me, I really think there are things like, to me, I think women are way better multitaskers. And I think there's been studies to prove that women are better multitaskers.
Really?
And it's just that their maybe brains are wired different, or maybe it could be like you're saying, maybe they're raised different, or maybe they see their mom doing more things and then they think, oh, I should be doing more things at once. And
Mm-hmm.
so that could be it too.
And, yeah, and, like, I don't know, like, boys, like, they're even raised to, like, oh, go outside with your dad and, like, watch him cut the grass, or, like, help
Mhm.
him cut the grass.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, those things, they're just, like, they grow up thinking, like, oh, that's what I'm going to be doing because I'm a
Yep.
guy.
But I did read a study once, like, circumcision used to not be as precise as a procedure as it is now.
Mm-hmm.
And they would accidentally,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of
Oh.
times they would try to raise these kids as girls.
I've watched those videos.
And then,
What is that? What was that girl's name?
I can't
I
even
just watched
think.
one in one of my classes, like, in the past couple semesters.
Where they talk about that, it happening.
Mm-hmm. And so it was the twins. Did you watch that one?
I think the one I'm thinking of, they were twins.
And they were boys.
Mm-hmm.
And the one that happened to.
Tried to raise as a girl.
Mm-hmm. And he, like, knew.
Hey, I'm not a girl.
So, yeah, I don't know.
So maybe there is, I don't know. Well, and it's like now, like, a lot of kids that are boys, completely boy genetically, and then they're saying, whoa, I think I'm a girl.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's something to the wiring that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, because, I mean, a lot, like, with Carl and I,
Uh-huh.
we started talking, like, about politics.
Mm-hmm.
And we were like, we don't really know where we lay. So we took, like, the politics, like,
Yep.
quiz or whatever. And we were really just, like, in the middle. Like, all the questions he would ask me, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I'm not strong one way or the other. Like, I kind of feel a little bit this way. But then another question, I would be, like, the opposite. And so I was like, I really don't think. I mean, I care. But
Yeah.
I'm not like,
Yeah.
I'm going to go fight everyone.
Yeah. You don't have to be marching in the streets
No.
and burning down Starbucks.
No.
I think most people are in the middle. They just.
And I feel like with social media, it really opens up. I mean, like, because people wouldn't, how would people know so much that they know now? Like, with the marches and everything, like, it gets so big because of social media.
Yeah.
And then people say one thing, they don't look at the other side, I guess. They just see, like, oh, I'm friends with them. They feel this way. Like, I feel that way.
Yep.
I hate them too.
Yep.
So,
Yeah, it used to be you pass out flyers.
yeah.
We're going to march on this day. Oh, fuck, I lost the flyer. Where are we marching at?
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a group. and you have a reminder on your phone. Oh, I'm supposed to be here burning down McDonald's at
Right.
4 o'clock. Yeah, I think you're right. Damn you, social media.
Really?
We're also addicted to it, too. It's amazing how these devices... I mean, I'll notice, like, I'll just be like, fuck, I should not be on this right now.
It's because I honestly think it's because your brain and just like your body are so used to looking at it
Mm-hmm.
that whenever you're sitting still, you're like, I need to be doing something.
Yep.
Like whenever you're sitting in a waiting room now, like you're just like, I got to do something with my hands.
Yeah.
I got to look on my phone.
It's really weird. It's disturbing.
I know, it is.
I remember I was getting my oil change one time, and it was me and 3 other guys, and they were all probably in their 50s, and every one of them had the same iPhone, same case. They were all sitting the same way with their one leg crossed, and they're all doing this. I'm like, I'm in a fucking robot. Like, they're fucking androids. It was.
And how young they get them now.
Oh yeah, Mason's
Like-
on his fucking his mom Mimi got him a tablet, and I told Nikki, I
Mhm.
was like, I don't want him to have a tablet. I don't want him to have a tablet. Oh, put a time limit on it. Oh, we'll do this. We'll do this. I'm like, I'm telling you right now, my opinion is I don't want him to have one.
Mm-hmm.
And then they got it for him because it was 4 against 1. So,
I know. And
So-
it's
but then,
like, it's good because then there's benefits. Like
Mhm.
I don't know, like hand-eye coordination, I guess, with it. And like, they learn a lot. But then it's like,
and I can't be delusional because he's not going to grow up in the same world that I did. His job might be a virtual reality. You put on a fucking headset and you're in China and you're walking around in virtual reality. Like, that may be, by the time he's of age to have a job, that may be the job. So
Yeah.
me holding him back, these might just be extensions of us forever, and I'm never going to be able to change it.
and see, I
So-
think that's kind of what bothers people is because like you want them to have what you had because it was so awesome,
Mhm.
and they'll never have that. Like you'll never get that back.
Yep.
So it's like kind of a lose-lose.
I was thinking, it's so weird. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with like Pee-wee's Playhouse, Pee-wee Herman. We used to watch The Wonder Years like crazy, all these shows. And I think with Netflix, like Mason literally downloads this information in a week.
Yeah.
Where it took me years to accumulate, all the seasons of Pee-wee Herman.
Mm-hmm.
Mason watched in a month. And it's like my whole childhood can be condensed and literally just downloaded like a computer into his brain. It's like the
Yeah.
Matrix. You just plug him in and he gets all that information.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's weird.
That is so weird.
And it's literally going to make that leap to where you don't even have to sit and watch it. You'll literally just have a chip and you'll just fucking insert it in your ear. I mean, it will get there.
It
Like, it
probably
will. And we'll just have to fucking accept it. Just put the big 666 right on our forehead.
God. So crazy. You see Ubers looking to get flying cars are looking at
Oh,
it now?
really?
Yeah.
Because of traffic? Just go
Yeah.
right over it. Man. But we're due flying cars. They were supposed to be out 10 years ago.
No, I don't want a flying car. That's good.
Oh, here's a good one. This is actually our last question. We're at 31:08, so we made good time. We make really good partners, Devon.
Oh,
You should
that's
really
great.
think about this.
Okay. Thinking hard.
Yeah, me too. That was weird. What is your theory behind your hatred for Brett Geoke?
Oh gosh. So, I don't even know where to begin with this. I don't hate Brett. I'll just say that. He just
That was so
really-
convincing, by the way.
he just really irks me sometimes. But I think I realized there's so much to this. I like to ignore certain behaviors.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one of my favorite things. In the classroom, I love ignoring.
Mm-hmm.
Like they just keep doing something and I just ignore it because it drives them nuts.
Yep. Attention seekers.
But Brett does it so much that it drives me nuts.
Yeah.
Because he won't stop.
Because he's better.
Like finally, kids give up.
Yeah.
They're finally like, okay, like she's really not responding. I'm just gonna walk away. Brett doesn't
Mm-hmm.
ever. So that's one thing that really bothers me
Okay.
because you've seen me
Mm-hmm.
go off the handle about that.
Yep.
But another thing, we were out to eat. It was me, him, and Carl, and we were sitting there, and we were talking about something, and him and I just got into it, and it was just back and forth. And it was because I feel like I felt something. Like, I was like, oh, yeah, this is why that happens. And he's like, no, this is why that happens.
Wait, I remember the story.
Probably
Brett
Carl.
or Carl told me.
Carl probably told you, because Carl was just in the middle, and he's like, but both of you are right. Like,
what was the subject? Do you remember?
Well, one of them, it was about people in prison, like why that cycle. Once they get out of prison, they go back, and that's the system. So I was saying, I was saying how they get like dependent on being in prison and being given everything, and whenever they come back out, I mean, real life, they're gonna have to do everything on their own. And if they've been in prison like for years, where are they going to go? They're going to go back to doing what they know to get quick money. And Brett was like, no, that's not why. And so he was saying, I think, like about how jobs, if someone has a felony, like they're not going to get a job or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And we were both saying like reasons.
The same thing.
Yeah. But like Carl was just like, no, but you guys are both right.
Uh-huh.
You guys just don't want to say the other one is right. And so you guys just keep arguing, but you're both right. He's like, just stop arguing. And Brett's like, no, 100% I think, or I believe. And Carl's like, yeah, 100% you believe. Like, that's what you think, and this is what she thinks.
Yeah.
And so it was just, that's just, I think, what happens.
You guys do bat heads so much.
It's like he feels one thing and I disagree, but we can't agree to disagree.
I think the 2 times that I've actually been mad at you is because of Brett.
Because of me responding
because of the
to him?
way, yeah.
Oh.
And I think it's just because everyone else has, okay, this is what normal people do. And we all have a spot in our brain like, okay, this is what normal people do. This is what's acceptable for Brett. But you haven't made that differentiation yet.
No.
You still treat him like everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
You have to discriminate a bit.
But see, and that's also, there's like a couple kids in the classroom right now that are kind of, and we just butt heads because I'm like, you're not going to act like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to stop acting like that.
Exactly.
And so it's kind of just like, I tell Carl, there's 2 Bretts in my class. And I don't know what to do about him because it's really like talking to Brett. When I talk to them, I'm like,
yep.
So I don't know.
You'll have to learn that you won't be able to change it.
I know.
So you getting worked up about it and freaking out and getting crazy?
No, I know,
it's never gonna help.
Yeah, I think that's.
You have no idea what he brings to this group.
Yeah, I know. I really.
Are you somewhat attracted to Brett?
No.
At all?
No.
See, I have this theory because Nikki's the only
complete,
one.
I know.
She's the only one that can stand Brett. And she's the only one that'll admit that he's attractive.
Yeah, but I don't.
My theory is that you girls, all of you, as a collective, something about Brett is cute about him. Handsome. Let me finish. This is going to get good. But you know, logically, I should not want that. I should be appalled by that. So you have to like overcompensate your hatred towards him. None of that a little bit.
No.
You're not feeling warm or fuzzy anywhere when I mention Brett's name.
Nope. A little bit of burning right here.
But it is a shame, you know. Brett really is a good person.
Yeah, no, I know he's a good person. It's just how he comes off sometimes.
Annoying.
Yeah.
Of course he's annoying. He's a horribly annoying, hard person to be around on a constant basis. Unless you accept that.
But I mean,
and say that yes.
It's been 5 years.
And you just can't accept it.
No, and I haven't accepted it yet.
See, that's on you though. He's not going to change.
But then I don't know.
Oh, here it is. You're one of the newer members of this group. What were your opinions at first, and have they changed over these 5-ish years?
So me coming into this group was just completely different than I think anyone else coming into this group, because I knew of this group for so long, but I was just too young to like be a
fornicate
part of it. Because like you and Nikki would always try to get me to go on flow trips. I mean, like probably from the time I was like 15,
Mm-hmm.
and I would never do it. And the first float trip I went on, I was like, thank God I never went, because I would probably have, I mean,
Not wanted to go again.
no, I would have took off running and probably never hung out with any of you guys again. But I mean, me coming into it, I had like a easier in, I guess,
Mm-hmm.
because of you guys.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be a lot harder if I like met Carl a different way and I wasn't related to Nikki. And coming into it, I think, I mean, like, you guys talked about this. In Scott's maybe.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
About
it's hard for people to get in.
yeah. Well, it's just like
Intimidating?
kind of intimidating. That yeah, because like even he said with Heather, like this is most people. Like even I only talk to what, like 5, 6 people like regularly that I went to high school with.
Mm-hmm.
And so for people to know that you guys hang out every weekend and you guys have been doing this since you were what?
Babies.
In elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to like just jump in, and because you guys have like so many inside jokes and like you guys just know each other so well that you guys know like how each other, you know, like responds to things, or just like I don't know. So with me coming in, I mean, I kind of just like followed you guys around and figured everything out, but I think it would have been a lot harder if I just came in because of Carl
Mm-hmm.
and had to like make friends with everyone.
Yeah, I could see how that would be hard.
Yeah.
I always feel bad, especially on float trips, because that's a lot of times when more people come in.
Right.
And I always feel bad, you know, with like Ryan and his girlfriend come, and Fam and his wife. And we're all telling these stories that have been stories for 10, 15 years. And they're just sitting there, you know, and I'm just like, oh, it feels like, yeah.
Like they're laughing, but they don't
But just
really know what they're laughing at. Yeah.
And it's just like, I always feel bad, like, oh. But that's what's cool, though, is you make new stories. And then 10 and 15 years from now, they'll be the part of the stories. Yeah.
Have those people stick around, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You
I'm
guys
sure they
don't
will.
scare 'em off.
Yeah, I know. We said something that made somebody really mad. I can't remember who it was, but I think it was the last float trip.
I don't know. A lot of people I don't think like understand you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Like whenever especially on a float trip, like whenever everyone's like extra crazy. I mean, you have like float trip Carl. You guys even have names.
Yeah.
It's really hard to be like, why would I want to hang out with these people? Like they're crazy. Like the things that you guys say, like a lot of people don't act that way.
Yeah. I don't understand why people don't like rape jokes.
Yeah. I mean, that's one example. But I don't know. I think so. I can't really answer that question fully, just because I had you guys.
Well, has your opinion changed at all from whenever you first started hanging out to now?
I don't think so.
It's all pretty much the same.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I don't know what my opinion was whenever I first met all you guys, though.
Yeah.
Not you, but
yeah.
Everyone else.
I know what your opinion was of me.
I don't even remember the first time I met you, actually. That's how young I was.
Yeah, you were little.
I don't even have memory that far back.
Yeah. Did you have a crush on me when you were little?
Yeah.
Seriously?
I mean, I was watching you in the pool. That's why I fell off the diving board, and I saw
You
the
wanted
scar.
me to save you?
Uh-huh.
I fucking knew it. I knew that was acting.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I do. That was your neighbor's pool, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. I was like, yeah, she's begging for it. Nikki,
Shut up.
you need to tell this third grader to knock it off.
So gross.
Did you have anything you wanted to say before we got off here? Any disclaimers?
I don't know. I feel like I'm opposite of a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
So my feelings towards things aren't going to be the same as theirs. Like the women's rights and politics.
You're really worried about that. They're thrashing. Those social justice warriors, they will come after you.
I know. So, yeah, sorry about that.
I'm surprised you didn't cry at all.
I know. I actually asked Nikki that. I was like, did you get to look at the questions? And she's like, no. And then she's like, wait, I actually did. I was like, am I going to cry during any of it? She's like, well, you're very emotional, so you might.
Yeah.
But I didn't.
You didn't cry.
No.
That's good.
No, I don't think any question would have made me cry.
Yeah, I'm trying to write questions to not show people's weaknesses.
I mean, you asked about my mom. That's my weakness.
Yeah, but that's a good thing. I mean, I make fun of you and your mom's relationship, but I don't envy it. But I can respect it. I
Yeah.
think it's cool sometimes when it's not 3 a.m. and
Hey,
you're
I was
asking
just
to
gonna
call
say
your
that.
mommy.
Yeah, I mean that just
That
happens,
time's
so.
annoying. What do you mean? It just happens.
No, it
Happened.
just happened.
Jesus Christ! How old are you?
Well, I was sad about my dog.
Oh my God!
I just really wanted to go to her house with my dog.
I remember. I don't know where we were going, but you were like, "I need to call my mom." It was like 2 a.m, and I'm like, "Why do you need to call her? She needs to bring me my clothes or something."
Okay, so I figured out why I think that's kind of normal for me.
Uh huh.
Today, actually, I was talking to someone, and I was saying how even in high school, everyone sneaks out in high
Mhm.
school, and they would all go meet up and behind their parents' back. Well, my mom would just be like, if you are going to go out, you need to just tell me and you need to keep your phone. You can go. Don't lie to me, but just tell me where you are and check in with me. So I was always used to, if I was ever out really late, texting her and being like, "Hey, I'm here," and then she would text me back. And so like that time limit, I guess, people like going to sleep never really, like, it's like normal to me to like text my mom like whenever I get off work. Even it'd be like 2 o'clock in the morning, like, "Hey mom, just got off work." She's like, "Okay, call me."
That part's okay. It's the
Well,
drive 60 miles to come take me to get
60
my
miles.
clothes. That's the part. Well, 30 there, 30 back.
That's true, I guess.
I mean, how many times she drove to Florissant to O'Fallon for you?
And I
Can you
feel like,
count?
no. No. And I feel like that's another thing with her just always being there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, she was always there for everything.
Mm-hmm.
So anything that I need, like, I don't ever, I mean, like, I'm thankful for it, obviously, like, very thankful. But I'm never like, "Oh, my mom is going to be so mad if I call her right now."
Yeah.
She was always like, "If you need anything, I don't care what it is, call me." I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I need flip-flops."
I remember I was like, "We're going to Walmart because you're a fucking adult." That's what it was. It was flip-flops or shorts. Like, you were not calling your mom. We're going to Walmart because you're an adult.
But then she likes that. Like, she misses it now.
Yeah.
Like, because I don't really
Well,
see her anymore.
don't get me wrong. She's as dependent on you as
Oh,
you are
yeah.
on her.
See, that's why it's, like, not that bad. Like, it sounds
It's
bad or,
mutual.
like, looks bad.
Yeah.
But then, like, she needs it as much as I do.
Yeah. And that's why I think it's cool.
Yeah.
If it was you taking advantage.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I've never had that to be like, my mom's going to be mad or, like,
Mhm.
I feel bad for doing this.
Mm-hmm.
It's always like, if I didn't do it, she would be sad because
Yeah.
then she would think I don't need her.
That's true. But one day you're going to have to learn to live without her.
No, don't
Yeah.
say that.
All happens to us.
Here comes
I
the
know.
tears.
I know. I was like, I got to make her cry at least once. No, we'll get off here before you start crying.
Okay.
Well, who are you calling out next?
Carl.
That should be fun. I'll have to write 8 questions for Carl. The weird thing is no matter what I ask him, I'm going to know. So it's going to be weird making it feel genuine.
Ask about me.
Ugh, I already know those answers too.
Aw. You don't. Look how nervous I was. I made myself bleed.
Oh my God.
I've been picking at my hand because I've been so
Methamphetamine
nervous.
is a Schedule 1 drug.
I need to get off here.
Yeah. We'll do that. Okay. Well, all right. Carl's up. I appreciate you doing this. Love you.
Love you.